Nobody besides the agencies.
No other members.
Yeah, we got the PSA 626.
We have another
Police
officer.
officer Lewis.
Pete.
Lewis? Is that
Officer
right?
Lewis? Officer Lewis, are you there?
It might just be audio.
Hello? Maybe can you-
She's here with me, with Officer
Oh,
Cardenas.
oh,
We're
oh,
partners.
Cardenas? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hi.
so
I did, okay, thank you.
say, okay,
Oh,
I guess 30 is that,
I'm,
30 is that.
no, the 30th is, Lieutenant Samuel.
30 is staring at you.
Oh, okay, okay. No, well, so where I'm like, Seymour's not here.
Yeah.
This is great. I feel like I'm playing
And Stewart's
poker.
on vacation.
Yes, yes, Stewart's on vacation and, Mr. Espinal's moved on.
Okay.
All right. Moved on.
And
And that's different from, what's his name? His name is escaping me, the one,
who's that?
the other officer who would come here.
Oh, Stewart. Oh,
Yeah,
Stewart. He's on vacation.
Yeah,
Jeremy, yeah, that's great.
Okay,
So I have a lieutenant.
okay, gotcha. Trying to look at the name, the name's.
You're here, Lieutenant Samuel.
Wait, first.
You want to give your report? Because I know
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta go.
Real quick, good evening, everybody. Lieutenant Gerard Salvia, Special Operations Lieutenant in the 30th Precinct. Pretty much, I deal with everything, from youth-related and, neighborhood police enforcement, special operations. I run the public safety team, I help out with traffic, I help out with patrol. You guys can name it, we pretty much do it. Obviously, let's just get some of the stuff out the room. Carolyn knows if we've had an issue with crack in the area, our public safety team, our neighborhood coordinations officers have made numerous crack arrests. They took down another guy today in the 143rd Street area, with large quantities of crack. We've been addressing conditions on West 137th Street and Broadway, Montefiore Square Park. Let me 1 second. And, we've been making a lot of arrests, we've been making a lot of quality arrests. A lot of people have records. We've been doing, a lot of two-wheel enforcement, going after mopeds that are committing violations, making it unsafe for people to walk down the street. A lot of our operations, we like to target is around school hours. This is when people are, the young children are coming out of school, trying to get to the park. We've also been doing a lot of work in the subways with, the Transit Bureau. Our, uniformed police officers are making direct patrols, all the subway stations and the confines of 30th Precinct. So four months ago, when we got here, the biggest problem was Montefiore Square Park. And transit, and basically all the access hubs where people can commute, coming back and forth. I think we made a significant improvement to the area. There's always room for more improvement. Recently, we looked at 311s on a larger scale, and we have a system in place where 311s have a little bit more, pay a little more attention to them. So if we have a 301 call, happens once, twice, the third time, I'm gonna send a supervisor. We're also doing 311 audits. Neighborhood coordinations team is taking it very seriously, doing a very good job. The billiards, I know that's gonna come up at some point.
Yeah.
We've worked with, the mayor's department of nightlife. Commissioner Garcia is a great guy. We've done numerous walkthroughs. We've met through the building as well as the billiards. The commission made some recommendations, which they followed. At this point, we're good. They're gonna kind of take the point on any further information, but, and any further incidents that's going on, unless it becomes an actual PD related thing. Right now, we don't have any high propensities for violence there. I usually try to do the SLA visits weekly, as well as places of interest like the billiards. At least I'll do a directed patrol in an unmarked car, and I'll watch the area for about 35, 40 minutes at a clip. If not, public safety team will do that as well as patrol. It's gonna be a hot summer. We're prepared to work. I'll tell you that right now. We're definitely prepared.
Lieutenant Samuel, I know that, you all are working with the mayor's office on the village issue, okay? Then we get the complaints, at least I get a lot of them. from this gentleman called Mr. Totus,
Okay.
which I sent to Captain Rose.
I saw an email to you.
Right. He addressed it with Mr. Totus is a constant complainer. You know, it's the same issue all the time. So Captain Rose did respond to him, letting him know that, you know, just what you said, working with the mayor's office, which is now taking over that situation in terms of they're complying with, music, the noise, and let Mr. Totus know about it. But if he had any other issues, he could bring them with,
Right. If we have someone who's acting disorderly outside and
Right.
trying to smash windows or two guys are fighting, trust me, we're gonna love nothing more than to address that as soon as possible.
yeah. One of his
People have a right
biggest,
to walk down the street.
right, one of his biggest issues is that he's in fear that they're gonna come for an SLA license, which we're not gonna give them.
This is when I gotta stay in the NYPD lane. And if that does happen, if there's an issue, we will address it accordingly.
So according to SLA, they're not gonna issue a license, which is why I still do what I said. Due to the fact of so many complaints, you know, that they won't issue them a license. One of the problems is not the same people, but the same. You know what I'm saying? So there lies the problem. So now that we know that problem, like you said, you have addressed it already, so we don't have to deal with that anymore.
We're still gonna monitor the situation too. Like, it's not something where we put a Band-Aid on it, and walk away.
Right,
Where our command's 20-something streets, 22 streets, you know, up and down.
right.
We're making these visits. We have enough manpower, person power where we can go there and still make checks here and there.
So you are still monitoring that?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the nightlife, you know, whether it's a bodega or a billiard parlor or even just a coffee shop, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock at night, people are concerned. They have a right to come home from work. They have a right to come home from their friend's house. And my cops will make sure they do the best to make sure they're safe as possible.
Any questions for Lieutenant?
Any four-wheel enforcement? I noticed you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So we're going after the ghost plates.
Yeah.
That was my next.
I'm gonna say, I don't have any numbers, only off the top of my head. Last Wednesday, we did a joint operation with the 3rd platoon. That's the crew that works from 3 o'clock to about 11:30 at night. We, in a marked vehicle, we pulled one over. Not to get into too deep of the details, but it was a forged plate. The person was charged accordingly. We also ordered a couple of summonses later in the night addressing the same issues. And for everyone out there, if you do have a vehicle, these plate covers that go on top of the plate, that's summonsable also. You can't, this is one of the states where you cannot cover your plate, even though it might be clear, reflective. And for some other people out there who are putting the face mask, beating the toll, which I see every day coming over the Triborough, you can't do that. So that's something we will pull you over and we will summon John. So I think it was last Wednesday we did that. Like to do some car work at least 1 or 2 days a week with public safety and or the neighborhood coordination team. And we like to work with our patrol teams as well. Traffic wise, we got a couple of really good traffic officers. And on occasion, we'll go a little bit earlier. We'll take a look at 10 o'clock, 10:30, especially with the deliveries. People will wrap around the delivery trucks. Then we have pedestrian that might get hurt. So that's one of the reasons why we'll adjust our tours sometimes to look for that.
You have a question?
Yes, actually, since you bring up the plane and all that, there are positioned, there are stopped, there are parking spots that are done by Zipcar. For example, all of us who are users of Zipcar, when we come back, we find that the spot has been taken over when we come bring the car. So what happened is the car gets put somewhere else. When another Zipcar member comes, he finds the car not where it is, and it has a trickle effect on the community of all of us who don't have a car, but we prefer. So the discussion on whether Zipcar should be there, it's not there, but the point is, how do we deal with those cars that are taking the spot that they're not supposed to? And
So let me just understand this. So Zipcar has designated city spots that the city approved. The Zipcar only needs to be there.
Right.
and it is.
It's labeled, just like a bus stop.
It's
It's
labeled.
labeled. It's labeled.
And the car usually that I find there has a placard. Some sort of a placard, and I don't know, we're not going to go into
Well,
placard.
you can always find, I know now that I'm in this room, your tone and your words are saying, There's channels for you to address placard abuse, which we get all the time. And if that's the method you choose to do, then that's the method you choose to do.
But the question is, what can we do? Because when we have to return the car, we are billed by the hour. And then we have fees, and then we spend 30 minutes dealing with customer service from Zipcar, doing all that for, is there a way to get that done better and streamlined?
So I guess the question now becomes, if it's placard abuse, do you want to call internal affairs or the appropriate channels? You can always call 311.
Being done, I have tickets every time. I have more.
So what I can tell you is, and going back to our 311 situation, with the new system in place, when we have a 311 call, body cameras to be turned on, and after 2 calls, a supervisor, that third call, supervisor will respond to the scene. Prior callers, we have to kind of look into case by case. If you want to report now an allegation of misconduct, of placard abuse, there's channels to do that. Talk privately if you want.
I don't say they're cops, I'm saying.
You brought it up.
Yeah, but there could be fake people having a fake placard.
And there's only one way to tell if it's a true placard. Now, really what your problem is, and
Is there someone on?
is someone's in your spot, and you just put the placard in because I'm here, I get it, that's not a problem. We'll have fun with this. But if there's a person not designated to be in that spot, I would call 311. I would send a picture, and in that picture, I'd have a poll showing that this car doesn't belong. So picture 1 would be the VIN and the plate. Picture 2 would be the position with no
Oh,
problem.
that we do,
Yeah.
trust me, when you come to these meetings.
And then what I'm gonna do is I'll contact our traffic team
Okay.
and see if this is something where we could drop a parking summons. Because that's what it is, it seems like it's improper park, I'd have to find a legal spot
Yeah, okay.
and then see if maybe we can apply it, so, but that part I'm gonna have to look into.
Yes. That's.
We'll exchange information, I'll follow up with you on that.
Okay, yeah, no, I sent the car, even the information of the community board, the precinct, everything,
You
and they're
understand?
not doing
Let me
what they're
know, because
supposed
I know-
to do.
I think there were 10 spots issued
Mhm.
in Community Board 9. Some blocks have 3, some blocks have 2, most blocks have 2. But there's some, we have one on 149 Riverside. Right on the downtown side of North Street, so there's 2 cars parked there. Really, anybody parks in that space but them. It's always them in that spot, you know, so. I understand what he's saying, that they do park it, but they're not allowed to park there. And so what you're telling me is right in terms of what you could do, because it's actually illegal parking.
And yes,
It's
and
illegal parking.
I have the tickets, the previous ticket from 311,
Yeah.
all the complaint in my computer, but it's just that once he passed and I put the car back and I'm done, it's like,
Yeah.
right, usually you like.
It's like Avis, you drop the car off and you want to.
Right.
Yeah, I understand completely, but like I said, well, if you do what we're doing now, like I said, we have this mechanism in place for about 2-3 weeks now. Closer to 2 weeks, it's formal, every supervisor knows what we're supposed to do. And of course, you'll always have my information, we could always follow up,
Right.
and if it is.
If he lets me know, I can let you know.
So I'll let Zipcar know so they can maybe
Yeah.
get the user from this
Well,
district.
DOT is here,
What?
the DOT is here,
They can explain the law. I don't know what law
No.
gives them the right.
but what I'm saying, when I say here is part of their program.
Okay,
Okay,
maybe.
so we can ask Lyle regarding that situation,
Mhm.
when I bring him up, when Lieutenant Sabio is finished, then I will ask, actually, he's gonna have to wait, because I have to go to Osaka later, okay? So then we'll go live. Okay, Lieutenant, finish. Any other questions for Lieutenant?
If you guys want much.
I have my hands up, Caroline.
Right,
Right,
You have a question, Edwin?
Yes, that is correct. Thank you, Lieutenant, for your report and the work you guys are
hey Doc, I
doing.
remember you from the last meeting.
Yes, thank you, for all the work you guys are doing. So with regards to the parking, we appreciate the work, that is being done. Now, there's another thing that's taking place in our community, and the Department of Transportation is very clear that commercial plates are not to park in residential areas from, I believe it's 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. And we are seeing many of these trucks park in our community. We have a slew of research that show the detrimental effect that these trucks brings to community with the nitric oxide, increased risk of diabetes, hypertension, stress. So we need enforcement around this because folks are parking their trucks in our community. Right on 155th, right before you go into the FDR going northbound. I don't know if that is your jurisdiction, in that path that you just take when you make that left, going like if you're going uptown or you're gonna go to Dykeman, there's trucks that are parked there, 18-wheelers. These
Ain't got nothing
trucks
to do with this
are
board.
not to be parked in our community because all that nitric oxide stays in our air. It's affecting all of us. It's affecting even you guys who are working here. So there's a reason why we have these rules in place. And if we can see a little more enforcement around this, perhaps educating, the PDs and letting them know, folks, between X time and X time, these trucks, commercial places, they cannot be in the community. And if we start to see enforcement around that, we really appreciate that. The other is the closure that we're seeing due to the protests that our students are doing. We have residents that live on Convent on between 140th and 141st. That corridor is completely blocked. Folks don't have access to that parking space. If there can be anything, because if you go right now, the street is just empty. And then you have Hamilton Terrace, that these are valves that allow our residents to park and then go home. People who live here, not those who are not living here. So if that's, if we're gonna have that approach of sort of keeping those three blocked, at least just have a corridor. If you live on 141st, 140th, check the whatever license, and you're allowed to go in Hamilton Terrace, because that is a big space all the way back there. I know that you guys are working with a 2.6 in combination with them on in helping with the situation. So that's the things that I'm bringing up here. And of course, we have heard, and I've been out there. The PD has been very courteous from my observation, from the point of view that I have seen. But there have been some allegations of folks who feel that they haven't been treated fairly. We want to make sure that, we adhere to our Constitution, right? That we have the freedom
Edward, that is a subject that I was gonna bring up later, not now, regarding the protesters that you and Lucretia decided to write a resolution.
Okay, but Carolyn, why are the officers here? Because he's.
No, I
trying
want him to
speak
respond to, but I just want him to know what his subject was.
All right, yeah.
And wait. Good.
If he's
So
gonna
I'm
say.
up, right now, Doc, I'm up to about 3 different answers. So let's
Thank
try
you.
to clear, what we can. All right, so 155 and FDR northbound. That is the boy with us in the 3-3 precinct.
Oh,
I have a
okay.
great, but I have a great relationship, Doc, with them. I'll speak to the SOL over there. He's a very good guy. He's a hard charger. He's like me. We've been doing this about the same amount of time. That can be addressed. Now, what I can tell you from my Queens Community Affairs aspect, these trucks, dropping the summons is pretty easy, especially if they're in violation. That's not the problem. Getting the heavy tow. There's only a handful of them in the city, and you guys know better than me on how to get them. They're very tough. I was a borough sergeant. I had a lot of difficulty getting them in Queens North because we had the same problem in Bayside. We had the same problem on the Whitestone Expressway. But as far as the enforcement, I will definitely reach out to the 3-3 SOL. I'll work on that with you. Next question is basically the barricade around the college and residents having access to that. That's really the other one, right, Doc? Overall.
That is correct, sir. And
Okay.
having access to the back, because you have Hamilton Terrace all the way in the back. And I know that there's just, no activity happening there because of the closure.
There's reasons for the closure, and I'm gonna say it's probably a case by case. And it depends who's running that area at that time. I mean, even if I did defer to the 2-6, I'm sure we're in agreement. There's a detail in place, and when each detail is incident commander, And we have to be very careful of who we do let in, because we do wanna have the right residents in, we do wanna have the right students in. We don't want people who are gonna come in here and disrupt the community and bring violence to a place that deserves peace. So whoever's at the incident command, I think we're gonna have to probably go with a case by case. The 2-6, if you could have anything to add on that, I'd welcome it. But I think that's pretty much the department policy right now.
Officer Cardenas?
Is that Manhattan North that is taking care of this operation?
It's starts with Manhattan North and the resources extend higher than that.
Okay. So we'll send them a
Alright.
letter.
Yeah,
Thank
that'd be
you.
great.
Officer Cardenas, you wanna weigh in on that?
Yes, the lieutenant is absolutely right. Right now, it really is on a case-by-case basis, depending on the incident commander and what is going on currently or what recently just happened.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what she said.
I'm sorry, Officer Cardenas?
Yes, can you guys hear me better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Now we
Yeah, could
can.
you just repeat the last part?
Yes, so it is most certainly on a case-by-case basis, as the good lieutenant said. And it is, it's a very fluid situation, so it's something that the NYPD is constantly monitoring. The end result is we want to make sure that the public is safe, everyone is safe.
Chair, may I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Monique.
So Lieutenant, you said it's by a case-by-case basis, and I understand that, because we want to maintain peace and calm in the community. But what is being done to make that determination of who should be there versus not? Is there something in place for you to be able to,
I'm gonna give you the answer you don't wanna hear.
Oh,
well, okay,
Human behavior.
How about that?
well, and elaborate.
So, yeah, human behavior, right? Once we could determine that we're not gonna have any propensity for violence here, I'm sure at some point the incident commander, who's ever in charge of that detail, can change the restrictions. Right now, this is what we have, so that's why it's a case by case basis.
But in terms of the parking component, let's say, for example, if people are residents and let's say they want to park, I mean, how are you granting them the opportunity to do that? That's an example. I might come out the pedestrians who are walking, but
You're gonna have to see who's running that detail every day, because it's right now, there's an X amount of captains, lieutenants, sergeants, and cops. And that could change tomorrow morning, it could change tonight, I don't know. That's the one part, like, we don't have a definitive playbook. Picture it this way, you have a big building fire, right? And that fire encompasses 2 streets. And we lock the whole thing down.
right.
If it looks good today, we just decide to open it up, and part of that building comes down and hits somebody, that would be an issue. This is the same pattern in a way, where we have to basically make sure the area is secure. And once someone higher than us makes a determination that we can open up the streets or a couple of streets, my suggestion is, if you live in the area and you have proper ID, you have your proper identification, you have a New York State driver's license with a New York State registered card that puts you in that building that's right there inside the barrier, I would present it and go from there. It's too early to make a determination to say, guys, we can rip barriers down. And I definitely cannot make that call at this time. I'd have to defer to the next
Could I
level.
elaborate on the fact that maybe you might wanna mention that these officers here are not just from your precinct? They're from 103, the 404, the 45.
Correct.
So they're all the way downtown and up, like, I saw yesterday officers from 103.
I had-
Brooklyn.
I had
So you
cops,
need to elaborate.
I had cops from the 60 taking
Yeah,
training here
yeah, I
tonight.
know, the 19 is up here, the 28, so they're coming from everywhere, so it's hard to determine which officers, like you said, they're not from the 3.
So meaning they're from the community and they know us because they're outside RCB.
Exactly, so basically that's what he's saying.
But on the benefit, because we are such a big department, in cases like this, we do have resources
Exactly, yeah,
where we could make sure at some point the correct people
exactly.
get into their homes, get into their school, and get to work.
You had a question?
Well, since we brought the topic up and I wanted to keep it, the question I have is, there is also that piece of free speech and free assembly. And you are there as well as the NYPD to protect free speech and free assembly.
Correct.
And how do we mitigate the fact that the uniform presence, not the undercover, but the uniform can inflame the moment of of the demand, because for example, the peaceful protest was very peaceful in the stern, they were stern in the demand they have. They are very stern, they want a certain thing to happen, that their demand. And the other side, who's the administration of a public entity and a private entity, because Colombia is private, have decided to basically call 911 and say, we want to get rid of that free speech by calling the police. It's like a domestic abuse, where you have two parties, she said, he says, and you are in the middle, basically, and you have to figure out how to deal with this amount of people. And as you said, it's case by case, people from outside the community, etc. So what can we do to kind of,
I really, I'm gonna be honest
trying
with
to
you.
be diplomatic?
I started out as a community affairs sergeant, who, my second week on the job was COVID. And my last week on the job was all the protests. So I can tell you, I'm gonna tell you what does work. I'm gonna tell you what does work. And anyone in community affairs can vouch for this. Before these protests became as violent as they were, whether it was interpretation or anything else, for years, the NYPD would meet with an organizer and say, we will set you up, protect your freedom of speech. The community board 9 meeting, Doc, if you remember the kid, the gentleman Michael spoke with me on the side, and I gave him the same speech. And that was the one who said his father was a cop and he was out there. And now, I don't know what this meant, but now we brought ourselves into this. I'm a public servant that protects the public. I did this and put myself into this. We set you guys up with a pen. And then we do is the people that don't like you and you don't like them, we set them up with a pen. And as long as everyone behaves, we don't have to take out our handcuffs. We don't have to talk over each other. Somewhere in between, other people made other decisions. So if I was to say right now, I will take 100 people that want to say one thing here. I'll take 100 people who want to say another thing, we'll put you guys 600 feet away. I'll put 30 cops in the middle and we'll all play nice. Can you guarantee me those 200 people are gonna play nice?
I don't know, that's the question.
No, I'm asking you now. Can you
I am not the leader of those people,
But,
and that's what, but I'm a member of the community.
and I'm someone who cares about the community. And I'm telling you, when you do it that way, and everyone is behaving and being respectful, and more important, polite.
Well, how can, well, having a protest and being polite.
But
Because
they're peaceful.
that part, I mean, the topic is inflammatory.
So is my uniform inflammatory to you?
No, it's not, because I know how to get to the different place, like
Okay.
today, I'm here. I didn't take it when I was stopped hostage at Convent Avenue trying to get back from the C train to Riverside. I didn't take it on the commander over there. I patiently waited an hour for him to open the barricade, but I also knew the forum for having this discussion is here. And I keep telling the public advocate, I keep telling everybody, let's come here and have the discussion. But everybody likes to make those big speeches, but we should be doing it here.
I'm having the shortest speech in the world with you. If you want to have a peaceful protest, if you want to enjoy your freedom of speech, I'm the first one to tell you that. There's a way to do it, and what escalates one escalates the other. And then at that point, I mean, just look at the videos. Oh, the DCPI has put out some great videos. There's been the news, I won't say anything else, but I would, if you're more concerned, I'd see what our Deputy Commissioner of Public Information's put out. I can tell you this much. Oh, the mitigation of violence was there, it was, and I think, cause I was out here till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, no, but the problem is when
It could have, you know, I think we determined that a lot of people want to go to school and get a good education and express themselves. And a lot of people want to live in an area where they don't have to worry about a chair, tear gas, fire bombs, flares being thrown at them. I think the people that live here, work here and go to school here, want to enjoy here. And I really want to do my best to help them out.
Yeah, no,
Whether I agree or disagree with them is irrelevant.
But no, I agree with you, but the tank, when the picture of the tank goes around the world, and that's what they see of my community, because I received call, Theo, did you see what happened from France, from Dominican Republic, in the news, they're like, big tank in my neighborhood, I'm like.
I'm not gonna go back and forth with you
No, okay,
and
no,
say
but-
picture one showed this, picture one showed that.
Yeah,
What I can tell you is a lot of good people on every side made their way home without a scratch, and I think that's the part we have to really enjoy about this.
And well, plus the people who got arrested.
Officer Cardenas, you wanna,
Chair, I have a
yeah,
question.
wait a minute. Officer Cardenas, you wanna jump in
yeah.
on that? Were you out there?
Absolutely, absolutely. As what this lieutenant is saying is dead on, and I can add to that
Right.
as someone who's been working nonstop these protests pretty much every day for extended hours.
Right,
Our goal and our only goal is to make sure people can to exercise their First Amendment right peacefully, safely, no matter what their belief is. Okay, we're not taking a sides whatsoever. We just want to ensure that the public and people who are pardon me, someone has a
What?
question?
no, go ahead.
I think that
Officer
Ted just came off mute, but go ahead.
Oh, yes. So that's our goal. And you know, it's as law enforcement, if police intervention in the you know in the form of an arrest is necessary, then you know what, that's part of the job. You know, yes, there were people arrested who
Yeah.
were you know inside a one of the Columbia University buildings unlawfully, and
Right.
that was criminal, and
That-
you know,
It was, it
and
is.
subject to arrests.
Officer Wilburn. You wanna jump in? Can you hear me? You wanna jump in on this?
Guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, so I'm in total agreement with Officer Cardenas and what the lieutenant stated. We were out there for hours just trying to keep the peace
I am muted.
safe. It started raining. It was a lot going on all at one time. So our duty is to definitely keep everyone safe and try to keep everything as peaceful as we possibly could. It was extremely chaotic. And yes, we were out there till like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. So, I mean, there was many of us out there, but it was really a lot of chaos. And, you know, the officers are out there just trying our best to keep everyone peaceful and safe. It can get unsafe really quickly. So-
One of our community affairs, I'm gonna cut you guys off, but one of our community affairs officers was hit in the head with a water bottle, and you know what, we have to
I
act
saw
on that.
that. Yeah, I saw that.
And thank God she wasn't seriously hurt. The same token, the arrests that were made, those people weren't seriously hurt. This isn't the past times that you brought up. I wasn't born back then, by the
Me
way.
neither.
Okay,
But my
all right.
but the thing is, my father remembered
But
those
we,
times.
at that time, I'm telling you right now, in 2024, it's not 1964. The men in person, or the persons that did that act, and you know the cop I'm talking about, that person was arrested without any further incident, and there was no further injuries. Okay, and that's.
It was two of them that also got arrested, was literally fought the cop. He pushed him back and literally took him back, swung at the cop. That was over at City College. I mean, literally, he was only pushing him back. Once the crowd was coming forward, he pushed him back. He picked him up back and tried to hit the cop with it.
I'm not even gonna tell you with me on social media, I mean, everyone loves my weight, so I just laugh.
Right.
I just laugh when I can, but, you know, we do take a lot of abuse there, taking the piece. Some of us get followed home, some of us get destroyed on social media. I don't have a social media account.
Do I?
It's a lot, and we're out here trying to protect, like I said, community affairs is the backbone of the community. They're the link between the NYPD and the community that we serve. They do a phenomenal job when that royal blue comes out. Any issues, you should start with them because they're the best problem solvers. You guys are always great, finding the happy medium. Like I said, you have a lot of resources. You got cops in Far Rockaway and Staten Island trying to make this area that Manhattan, let's say, that speaks volumes to the commitment that we do have to our community.
Exactly.
No, I agree with you that you do a great job, and the problem for me is that sometimes the law is not where it should be for people, minority people. And it is for us, the community, to figure out what those laws are. And it's not your fault implementing the law. Is it illegal to go into a building in a private thing? Maybe there is something we need as citizens to do to change those laws, to make your job easier. And we don't want your job to be violent. You have a right to a life, and you're here to keep the peace and to protect us. And that's what I'm here for, is to make sure we figure out what law we
Well,
can
the
change.
understanding with that is that private property is private property and you still don't have a.
Yeah,
right
but
to
those
own it.
people are paying rent by paying their
No,
tuition
Columbia
to be
paying-
at Columbia.
Yeah, they paying to go to school, Columbia. That's
Yes.
private, but Columbia, that's their property.
Yes.
You don't have a right to break into it. Okay, that's all I'm saying for now.
Well, you know, we have
Somebody said-
presidents throughout the country where Brown handled this differently. And we need to do a post-mortem analysis of everything that had transpired. And I think that it is healthy for the community to bring this conversation forward because we want to make sure that everyone's rights are respected.
We
And that
understand
includes-
that, we understand that, Edwin.
Let me finish, Carolyn, please. And that includes the students, the residents, and the PD. I'm sure that nobody wants to be in this position. However, we have a beautiful, great country that we can do these protests and we can manifest our disagreements.
Mr. Gershon. Mr. Gershon. go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I'm a member of Jenny's Garden, Riverside Valley Community Garden, and there are members of that garden who have not felt safe for months. So I don't buy the idea that all this stuff at Columbia is being done to keep the community safe because we don't feel safe. We don't go outside the garden because there's homeless people around who are shouting crazy things, and we call the police and nothing happens. I know the 24th precinct has community policing meetings. Do the precincts in CB9 have such public meetings?
Can I go on?
Where do you live at, Mr. Gershon?
I live in
Just the street.
104th Street.
You said 104? That's,
104?
I'm a volunteer at Jenny's Garden at 138th.
Oh, okay.
I don't live in the garden.
No, I know, no, I didn't want to feel weird.
I'm not, actually, some people do live near the garden. Yes,
So, yeah, no, yeah.
I don't.
Well,
Mr. Gershon,
if you do have a room for rent in the garden, I'm here so much, so I'll be more than happy to pay it. We have what's called build-a-block meetings. I think this is the direction you want to go.
That's, yeah,
Have them,
definitely.
you know, each sector and every NYPD precinct has it. Every quarter, each sector, so for an example, the 3-0, and I think we're both 3 sector commands, right, 2-6? We're both 3 sector commands?
Yep, yes.
And the thing is, if you go to one, same like in the case that the doctor brought up, if you bring up something that's, you know, affecting your community, chances are that if it's not the precincts, or an example, if you went to a 2-4 and you said, hey, I have a problem with 3-0, 2-6, we simply refer that complaint to the precinct concerned, sector concerned. If you go on
Okay.
New York City's website, any of, or the Twitter, any of the precincts, they'll let you know when we're hosting the next build-a-block meeting. And then, feel free to go in there. It's great. It's an open forum. And sometimes we'll have
Yeah.
crime prevention come down there and other resources.
I mean, this past Monday, I was at the garden volunteering between 10 o'clock in the morning and 12. And I asked an officer in a car, you know, there's a car parked there with covered license plates from New Jersey. They ignored it. Totally ignored it. So I don't know what to do.
So the question is now that you've seen something, you request service, and you
Yes,
felt that you weren't served properly, what would you like me to do? You want me to try to discipline the cops? Is this
I
something
don't
you
know.
work on?
It's
Because I
like,
always ask people this question, you know, like,
the issue is that I'm seeing is that y'all go after what you want to go after. And some things are just not important. That's my takeaway. I can't help that. I see too much bullshit.
calm down, Mr. Gershon. The build-a-block had go by block. You have A block, you know, building
sectors.
sector A, sector B, sector C.
I will
okay.
be at those meetings.
So.
How do I find out
when
when they are? When are they?
can one of the officers like type it in the chat or like the,
That would be
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah,
to
if the other thing for everyone else out there, if you go to, I think it's Build a Block NYC, or if you go on the NYPD's website,
That I'm
you can
familiar with.
type your address in. When you type the address in,
Okay,
It'll take you to a Google Maps page.
right,
They'll tell you your precinct, the sector you live in,
right.
the neighborhood policing officers, and sometimes I believe neighborhood policing sergeant. If anyone has an issue in the 3-0, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to go out
Okay.
there. and
The
do
builder
what we
block
can.
has its own,
Because I have an excellent relationship with DSNY. They have me calling them directly.
That's great.
It's fabulous. It
great.
really is a wonderful
It's-
thing.
Chief Pitts is a good guy. He does a lot of good work. So his
Well,
guys
I-
will work very hard.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yes. I'll check that out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doc. Doc, that's perfect. So Dr. Torres
Thank-
put it up
thank-
in the chat.
Yeah, thank you so much for, all the information you guys are giving.
Mhm.
we answered that question about builder block.
I'm a big fan of the Build a Block meetings. And like I said, we do bring other resources. We, sometimes we'll have a crime prevention officer come there and speak about elder crimes, mailbox phishing, or any of the other things that we're addressing. I like to pop my head in there and, give a quick report on things that we've done. And of course, your community council meetings are always a great thing. I'm a big fan of them, as well as community board meetings.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
He's from the 30th precinct, Laquita.
I'm a senator.
Yes, I'd like to also thank the police officers who've come and expressed their concerns and their activities and indicated to us how you're working to, keep our communities safe. There will be some other questions though related to perhaps some individual experiences that may involve some officers that may not have responded in the way that they should have to this particular incident.
Well,
Because we've begun to hear some, but as long as we're communicating, I think that that's super important. I just want to say in terms of Mr. Gershon and to the police officer, I to tell you the truth, I can't hear well every single, thing that's been said. But on this coming Monday, we have someone that's going to come to us from DOH to speak on mental health stresses and how they can be handled. So Mr. Gershon wants to be in touch with the district office will help, because I think that's really important. It's really critical. I don't know what's happened to the special task force involving I think
isn't that my committee?
people, but anyway, I'll bring that up at another point, but there was supposed to be a task force that can assist with issues as Mr. Gershon has. So maybe we'll talk about it later. at a
Yeah,
different
well,
point.
If he has issues and it's supposed to be a task force, Laquita, he would come to uniform service and we can take it from there.
Okay, so we need to get
Okay,
that
so it's your
information. Okay, so I just mentioned where there's one possible immediate assistance you can get on this Monday night when DOA speaks on that issue in our committee. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
again, officers.
Hmm?
Let me know.
Will do. Any other questions for Officer Wilburn, Officer Cardenas, Lieutenant Savio? None being heard?
Oh, yes, Chair. I have a
Oh,
question.
you had a question for?
I think it was for the lieutenant.
Savio.
Lieutenant Savio,
Yes, sir.
another quick question. I had going back to the protest, and I know you said this is an evolving situation. And as things, I guess, become more clear, certainly the presence, I guess, of the officers in the community will recede back. One question though I do have is, was there a determination in terms of how many of those involved were students versus people who weren't students, on either campus? And I know City College, they said it's on spring break, so I don't know if that means no students were involved, but one of the concerns I had was making sure, I didn't want to see anyone get hurt, but I was particularly concerned about students and knowing that whoever is watching from afar, their parents, they worry about their kids, so.
Yeah, situations like this, I think the parent comes out in all of this, or the grandparent, the uncle, again. I don't know the exact breakdown. It was a mix. I don't know what the percentage as well. I think, the news broadcasted some of that. I think the DCPI has let some of that information out that there was,
I think CCD.
there's some terminology there
100.
that I don't think I'm in position to speak of because it was already released into the public.
Okay,
But there was a percentage,
of,
more or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because I think when the news said CTNY, when students were 100 that were arrested, 90 something in Colombia, and a few more after that. So, you know, it's like you said, it's a little bit higher than that, yeah.
But the thing they didn't report is how many were alumni who were graduated from those schools and people who came from the same system. CUNY is a big system, so they could come from Baroque.
Yeah. Columbia said that there was some from other colleges as well as the outsiders that didn't belong.
Well,
A lot of them.
Yeah, that's the nature
Right.
of the scene, and I heard they moved from 137 to 116, and then they came back to.
They did, yeah.
There is a
They
lot
went back
of
to-
fluidity between
Exactly.
two institutions who usually don't talk to each other.
We got our steps in that night, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
I don't think I just
We got our steps in that.
Are there
like I
any
said,
other questions for Officer Cardenas, Officer Wilburn?
somebody's hands up.
Who's here?
Laquita, is that a legacy?
No.
Officer Wilburn, you
Oh,
wanna give your,
thank you.
Officer Wilburn, you wanna give your stats? You can send it to me. The stats. Never mind, you don't do that.
Flying around all day.
Okay.
Don't assume when to send them to me. Officer, go ahead, Officer Wilburn.
Community affairs. I have 8-day period numbers for you guys. We had 2 robberies in Manhattanville. One of them is DV related, one isn't. A cab driver picked up 2 males and dropped them off at 545 West 126. One of the males pulled a knife to the CV's neck and removed $120 and a cell phone.
505 where, officer?
That's 126.
Okay.
On 126th Street. We took 3 assaults, 2 in Grant, 1 in Manhattanville. 2 are DV related, and the other one was a male shot at 1420 Amsterdam Avenue. He was cooperative, and this happened on April 26th on the roof landing of the location.
Okay.
Okay, and then we took 3 grand larcenies, 2 in Grant, 1 in Manhattanville. The one in Grant, 2 pair of sunglasses and a pair of earrings was said to be removed by the house that were doing a lead inspection at that location. Apparently the tenant wasn't home at the time, so they gained access to her apartment. She stated that those things were missing. The next one was in Grant. Someone didn't receive their last paycheck by mail and it was deposited into an unknown account. So she never got the check. And it was deposited to somebody else's account and it wasn't her account. And then the last one was in Manhattanville. $14,940 was said to be removed from a drawer in someone's apartment. And the complainant had multiple home attendants at the residence, which is very concerning because a lot of times our seniors are victims of crimes. You know, people that are there that's supposed to be helping them that they think they could trust, and then these type of things happen.
Was this a robbery for that $14,000?
Ma'am?
Was this a robbery for the 14,900 something? Or just a break-in?
No, the mail stated that he had $14,940 inside envelopes stored in his drawer. And then when he went to check for it, he realized that the money was missing. And the last time he counted the money, it was there, but he also said that he had multiple home attendants coming to his apartment at different points in time, so he couldn't pinpoint
How did, where the money went?
yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. And
All right.
please, the 28-day housing PSA.
All right. Thank you. Could you email that to me?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, thanks a lot, appreciate it. Are there any questions for Officer Wilburn? Officer Wilburn is from PSA Civic Housing Project. No question. Thank you, Officer Wilburn.
Most welcome. Have a good evening.
You too.
Good evening, have a good evening.
Okay, who's up? Lyle, I'm sorry, Lyle, hold on. Alberto Rodan from the MTA.
Hey, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight?
How are you?
Okay.
Doing well. Good to see you again.
Yes, same.
So just some, I know you want some updates on Omni, I believe, right?
I wanted to know about the Metro card. I know it's phasing out, but you sent me some information on the Metro card regarding people that could get information about it.
Right.
Okay. And also I wanted to know about the MTA bus, the Metro bus, or
Mhm.
Omni now. For those that cannot get down into the subway, I was requesting a bus to be located at 145 Broadway for the hours between 10 and 12 for those that need a Metro card. So I want to know an update on that.
Right. So I submitted the update for you. I'm waiting to hear back from the team on when they can schedule that in to your community on 145th Street. It was 145th and not Lennox, was it?
No,
I know, it was the Metro card, the bus, and the update on the Metro card. I know, like I said, it's phasing out, but I know it won't be till the end of the year. So about the Omni card as well.
Yeah, so folks who are already customers within the reduced fare programs, the 65 plus and
Yeah.
eligible disability, they'll automatically receive the Omni card, reduced fare Omni card later this year. That's the goal we have in mind for all the customers. Recently, we were able to translate the application to 6 different languages. So folks who don't speak English, we have in Spanish, Chinese, Haitian Creole, Russian, and Korean, just for folks who speak those languages, they can have access to that. We also recently made an announcement for our customer service centers. There are several in Manhattan, Penn Station being one of them, 168th Street and the A1 line, that's another station. You can now, starting I think later this month, you can apply for the reduced fare program and be approved on the spot. So I can send you those information for you via email, so you can have that for community folks as well.
Okay, so they don't have to go down to the MTA center to have their picture taken?
Right over on 2 Broadway down there, 3 Stone Street,
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you don't have to
but-
make that long travel down there. I can imagine that's very far for most of us. So no, you can take the picture
But
on the spot.
I got mine down there because I work down there. So yeah, I got it. But no, also, what happens with the Metro Reduced card for those that have the card was, the one that came out, they're not due to return to 1/31/26. So that card is still in effect until that date.
Yeah, so you're saying I have my Metro card and I get my Omni card in the mail, right? That's what you're asking me?
No, those that have a Metro card now that came out, let's say last December, their card is not expiring until January of 26.
Right. So good question. So folks who are in that predicament, right?
Right.
We're gonna give you enough time when we're gonna cut the Metro card, but you can continue spending down your money on that Metro card, or we're gonna have a refund option as well. So you have
Okay.
2 options, either spend it down or get the refund. I mean, obviously it
Got
might be easier to spend it down, but everyone's situation is different.
Okay, I got you. No, but you answered my question, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's your money, right? We don't want you to, you're not gonna lose your money. We don't want it. We want you to use it. So
Yeah, I know. Okay. That was something else I wanted to talk about.
So I owe you an
Alright,
update on the
now-
Metro card, man. That I do owe you that. So I'll get back
Okay.
to you on that one.
I would appreciate. It's a question I don't know whether you can answer. There are some MTA trucks 147, Lieutenant Sam, 147, 148 St. Nicholas Avenue. The subway station is there.
145, St. Nick.
147, 148 St. Nicholas,
Okay.
downtown, north, southbound. The trucks are double parked there. They're there for days. It's a
And this is where
problem. I think-
148th and what? I'm sorry.
I think it's 148 St. Nicholas. The subway is there.
It's on the corner, 145, St. Nick.
147 is St. Nicholas.
Okay.
Right, thank you, Heather. Yeah, the MTA trucks are there.
Mhm.
I know it was a problem or something. Now they're back and are they still there, Lieutenant?
I haven't really paid much attention to
I
that.
just want you to check on that for me.
They
Yeah, I
park
can do
there,
that.
every night on both sides.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
they're,
think so.
they're there every night, Alberto, so could you check on that? Why
Yeah.
are they why are they there every night?
Right,
Is there a
exactly.
problem? I know the subway is there, but is there a problem there?
So
And
I'll check to see.
sometimes, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Heather.
Go ahead,
And
Heather.
sometimes in front of the fire hydrant on West 147th Street. At the corner of St. Nicholas, in front of the
Right.
fire hydrant, they also park there.
I was gonna also add, Chair, we have major bus stops there, so when they're there, they create problems
Well,
too.
the bus stop, which you're right. The
Yeah.
Bus stop is 1-4.
Well, 145th, and there are trucks there, and also going on
Yeah,
that,
but it's
Uptown
the ones at 148, where Daria is,
right,
the bus stop is at the next corner, which is 147, okay?
no, it's
The
still
problem
close
is the
enough.
fact is that your buses, okay, number one on St. Louis Avenue 145, which is horrendous because they couldn't, well, it's really not you, it's Transit District 3, which is not here tonight, which are totally bad practices because their vans are in the bus stop, which means the elderly have to stand in the street to get on the M3 bus.
Exactly.
Besides for the fact, we know the double parking is horrible. I know
too.
that already. We already know that. So I don't know what you do about, not you, but we've been in touch with Transit District 3 1,000 times with this.
I'll make it 1,001.
Please, I think I asked Captain Rhodes to reach out to him again. I know they have a new captain, but they don't ever keep a captain over there. I think I've met every captain they had. So it's Rios now.
Yes.
So to speak to the captain at Transit District 3, to please have those vans removed from in front of the bus stop, you know. And going on St. Louis Avenue, as you know, in the middle of the block, there's a bus stop. Which is close to the double park.
Can I ask a silly question and could possibly they change the position of the bus stop?
It's a possibility.
Like, I mean, it's out, I know this is like a novel idea.
You mean for the one you know?
Shift it over a little bit.
You could put like a bus lane in the middle and then have a bus island.
Yeah,
That won't work.
now that they tried that in
But
Queens.
you tried to get.
I know what you're
I know you're
talking
talking.
But I know what you're talking.
Correct.
Yeah.
Someone too big, like
Yeah,
next to Marshall,
like-
they have something
yeah.
like that.
Something like that.
So now,
Yeah.
And
that
so
would-
like nobody.
It works on one
But my-
bid,
my
it works
question
on
is,
one.
the one in the middle of the block we talking about.
Well, I'm just saying, maybe instead of being in the middle of the block, maybe put towards the beginning of the block, is there?
Well, it's a bad spot where they are in the middle of the block, to
Yeah.
tell you the truth, because you know.
Yeah,
Right, they
there's a science that goes into bus stops, Lieutenant. We just don't pick them randomly.
Just
You
asking.
know,
Yeah.
we do have
You
to
know-
work together in the community. We hope folks can park where they're supposed to park to start there. That would be great. But we can definitely see what we can do in terms of
See what you could
better
do, yeah,
alignment
that
if
would
possible.
help a lot, besides for the double park, because one of the problems, as you all know, is the new school, because they think they're supposed to park all day long. Double park, you know, but that had nothing to do with the MTA. But the
Yeah.
problem basically is 145 is Transit District 3, you know.
I'll reach out to District 3 and
Yeah, and you ask them please, because we get a complaint every day. You know, because the elderly, you know, about them having to stand in the street, and it's not fair to them, you know. But the bus should not have to, you know, have to do that. But yeah, Alberta, if you can help us with that and put that little extra thing that you're saying.
Well, I'm just
It's just a suggestion.
Here we go, better than mine.
What you would do.
But I'll do my part, and I'll reach out to
I appreciate
District 3,
it.
I'll speak to
Yeah,
Captain
I
Rios,
appreciate it.
and at least get that conversation going, okay?
Yeah, and I'll see what we can do there. Just sometimes we can't move it, not to be difficult. It's just operation wise for our customers. We want them to be safe as well using the service. So a lot of that as
Exactly.
well.
The MD is now coming out with these, I think they cameras on the buses to give tickets if you parked in the bus stop.
Yeah, that's gonna roll out later this year on several bus routes. We're not sure which ones yet, but that will be forthcoming, and that'll focus more on cars parked in our bus stops directly.
Right.
So that'll hopefully deter folks from doing that and increase speed of our buses. That's the goal.
I got one. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Roden from MTA?
Heather,
Heather, you have a question?
Yes, there's this relatively new vegetable fruit stand that is directly in front of the entrance of the West 147th Street entrance of the at St. Nicholas Avenue, right in front of the entrance of the subway station. On the on the southwest entrance. Is there anything that can be done to have that stand moved away from directly in front of the entrance? Because that's also blocking the bus stop.
So the fruit stand in the bus stop and the sidewalk, you're saying?
Yes, it's directly in front of the entrance of the stairs where you walk down into the subway station on the south at 147th Street in St. Nicholas.
Mhm.
The southwest entrance. It's just a lot of people are complaining about it, and there have been many complaints in some of our other community board meetings about the location of that, and it's a new vendor stand within the last month
All right, it's a vendor stand. So it's
with
blocking-
fruits and vegetables. It's directly in front of the entrance.
Yeah, but
And
it's
it blocks the bus station, the bus stop, right? The N3 bus stop. So
Okay.
there's just so much congestion around there. You can't even wait for the bus in that
Okay.
area because that stand is
that a-
blocking.
So we would have to, hi ma'am, it's Ted Salvia. I'll take a look at it. We'll see if they're properly licensed. And then with that, sometimes new vendors, they don't know the exact guidelines of where they can be and can't be.
Right.
So we'll try to position them better where they can be an asset to the community as well as not a hindrance at the same time. Can you give me a little time to work on that one, at least have a conversation with the vendor?
Oh, yeah, great. Thanks so much. Thank you.
You'll get back to me and then I'll let you know, okay?
Going back to a few.
And that's appreciated. Yeah, like vendors have to have some clearance from the bus stops in general, but we'll let, you know, the PD
No,
have the
right.
conversation and see if that'll work, and it should work.
Yeah, because like Lieutenant Salvio said that he has to have the proper ID, but he has to have a vendor's license, and even with a vendor's license, you cannot obstruct the entrance way to the subway.
We'll work on that, Mr. Roland. I'll get on that, I'll try to stop by there tomorrow, if not, my NCO swing by over the weekend.
Awesome, appreciate that.
No problem.
Any questions from Mr. Roden?
Actually, yes, suddenly you made me think of something. Maybe you have talked about in the past, but June 30 is coming. Congestion pricing will happen. Is there any?
Hopefully not.
Yes, no, but doesn't matter. It is law now. So what, is there a plan? Because what is going to happen with all those people who will decide to park? First down in 59, then 70, then they will eventually park here, take the subway. And so is there a plan or anything?
Not really.
It's the local laws, the local parking conditions and parking laws right now is all PD can enforce. I'm kind of thinking you're going this way. When the UBS Arena was built in Elmont, the first 6 blocks in Elmont, Nassau County, give or take, have stickers proving that you live there, resident stickers. I've heard some public, I wouldn't say the public advocate, but people advocate for residents. I've heard that conversation come up. As
Right.
far as our perspective, we have a traffic violation and we have the resources to address that traffic violation. We will do it. If someone gets here and parks their car just as the street sweepers, it's no different than your neighbor across the street. But if there is a violation, let's know, we will address it.
Well, the question was more for the MTA in terms of what can we expect here to see? Is there, were there projection to see the effect that the June 30 will have in our neighborhood, or there is nothing? I mean, if there is nothing, there is nothing.
DOT came out with something today.
Oh, okay.
Who?
DOT came out.
Did they?
So I'm gonna let him speak on it.
Maybe that, so we'll pass it from MTA to DOT.
Yeah, but quickly, what I did was I put some information for the congestion pricing, and that has a lot of FAQs, including exemption for folks who qualify, and also some more information on the tolls itself and all of that information. So that'll be there, but I'll defer to DOT in terms of other questions regarding parking and all that.
Oh, okay. It's a possibility that you won't be coming. I think.
Now, I'm sorry about that, Lyle. Just, kicking over to you that specific question.
No, I know, I mean, I was thinking, off the top of my head, with the lawsuits, it would happen, anything could happen, but, Lyle? Lyle,
I'm here, evening.
okay, there's a question about the, congestion pricing. You have any scoop on it?
Not right now. As far as I know, I think that once congestion pricing is underway, DOT will conduct several studies in regards to parking, and will come to several assessments. I don't know what the future is as far as parking changes regulation is in Northern Manhattan. I know that you've gotten questions about residential parking permits in the past. That in of itself, at least as of now, would be something that would be somewhat difficult for DOT to regulate or to offer. But like I said, once congestion pricing is in effect, I think that there'll be some studies that'll be conducted in regards to parking. That I think will take a year or two to get full assessment of research, and after that, whatever comes of that, we can definitely discuss. But as of now, I don't have any updates as far as any particular plans for parking. As far as I know, there are none. At least as far as parking is concerned. Once
Right.
that goes into place.
And to add to that, like Lau said, we're going to be collecting a lot of data over the next year or so, and definitely, publishing that as we get it, and we can react to that as
Right.
needed. But the parking conversation, as the lieutenant had mentioned, and Lau, legislation's up there. That's a conversation. That's something that if it happens, it happens. But at this point, MT has no discussion on that.
But no discussion on the parking issue, okay. Okay, any, you have a question, Mike?
Yeah,
Go ahead, please.
directly related, Lyle, to sort of proactive, measures to mitigate the impact of congestion pricing. DOT came out with a publication today with some new projects and rehashing some old projects. Among them, bus lanes on Broadway in Upper Manhattan, and some bus lanes on the Upper West Side and the Upper East Side, as well as some bike lanes around the congestion zone. I noticed that there were none in this district, in this community board area, and we're like dead last in bus lanes. So I was wondering if you had any response to why it appears that we're very low priority, even though we're close to the congestion zone.
Either or.
I as far as any future bus lanes, I know that DOT released some information today. I haven't had a chance to go over it fully myself yet, but if there are, I don't know if there are any particular locations in CB9 you would think a bus lane would be needed, but you can definitely make a request. You can send me an email, or you can go on the DOT website and make a formal request. You have my contact information, so you can send it over to me. I can forward it to my colleagues in our transit development division for their review. But yeah, if there's specific locations that you have, you can definitely pass this along to me. We can definitely, we can review it if anything.
I appreciate that, Lyle. I just wanted to voice like my,
My question is this:
disappointment that other places got.
What kind of bus lanes are you looking for?
So the bus lanes that are being implemented elsewhere throughout the city that are just for buses, that give priority for buses to go through.
Well, yeah. You
So
talking about
my
bus
question-
lanes.
Bus lanes, right?
Well, we don't need them up here because the streets are already narrow. Remember now, we had 3 lanes, now we got 2 in Broadway. St. Nicholas, I don't know what they have on St. Nicholas.
Right, so in St. Nicholas could use
St.
a bus
Nicholas,
lane.
they need to put those lanes back.
Yeah, you could put a bus
And
lane there.
Amsterdam too, they need to put the lanes back.
So my question is, why are they working on other parts of the city and not here?
I guess because it's never been brought up at any.
Well, we're bringing it up.
So now you bring it up, which is the point, but
Yeah.
we gotta, now we have to then find out where.
Yeah.
we put-
Of
Yeah,
course,
Well-
it's like Mr. Roldan said,
yeah,
it's a
right,
science.
exactly.
I do have actually, I wanted to make a comment. I do have nightmare from that decision that we took in 2008 when I represented CB9 at the MTA saying we didn't need bus lane in this community, and I still have nightmare to this day for taking but I was representing the board, and I wasn't strong enough to say we needed those bus lanes. And I think I will go with your assessment
Well, yeah,
that
what
we
he's
need
saying
to
here,
do
what he's saying
something
now,
here,
the bigger problem here with us.
but I'm 20 years
When they
old.
remove the lanes.
Sorry?
The bigger problem was they removed the lanes.
So we had them
They
in
took out
there.
the lane. Broadway was 3 lanes, south and north. They took it
Yeah,
down, reduced them.
but more like traffic lanes does not equal better bus service.
No, I understand it, but I'm saying, it depends on where you're, on Amsterdam, there's no room to put a bus lane. I mean, another bus stop, because Amsterdam Avenue is horrible, it's narrow, it's 1 lane. 1 lane north, 1 lane south. So the traffic, which I'm gonna bring that up with Lyle as well. St. Nicholas is worse. St. Nicholas used to have 3 lanes, north and south. Yeah, but I think they got 2 now.
But the number of lane doesn't equate to flows. And
But it stops the flow of traffic.
No, it does not. That's the
Slows the
thing.
traffic down. That's what people don't seem to understand. When you remove a lane, it slows the traffic. They call it carving traffic. That's not true.
But the thing is, the lane is about flow
Yeah.
and capacity.
Yeah.
There is a flow that goes in and it's logarithmic. You just add 1 car and suddenly everything drop to a halt. So
Only
the
when they have
lane
an
flow.
accident.
No, but the thing is the flow is a rate of flow of cars and a lane and we need to, I think we need to do better work over there in Broadway on those lanes, because we could have a bike lane, we could have a protected bike lane.
They don't
we
want
could
to
have-
walk lane on Broadway.
What?
Chair,
They don't want, not me. They
Yeah.
don't
Hold
want
on, I'll get you the right people.
Yeah, so-
Chair, I have a question.
It's too congested on Broadway.
Chair, I have a question, a comment, and then Daria has her hand up. I mean, maybe it is worth a follow-up conversation, again, because we're a few years out. There's more cars, which means more congestion, and maybe when the consideration was done a few years ago, there were less cars. There's definitely more congestion, and it leads to and creates
Well,
inefficiency
what you're saying
and
is
flow,
right, but
so,
one of the
yeah.
problems with that is people are not gonna stop buying cars because.
And that's why it's gonna get
because
worse.
They want people to ride a bike. Okay, so everybody can't ride a bike.
No,
Take a
understood.
But I'm saying,
Or take
a
the
lot
bus.
of people want to don't ride a bike. And
Right.
there are people that are not gonna give up their cars, and I don't blame them. And why should they?
Right,
But one of the perspectives rather
right.
is not so much Lyle from the point of view, is to ride a bike. Bicycle alternatives, that's their main issue, is to ride a bike, get rid of all the cars. Okay, that's not gonna ever happen.
Right.
When it was in the 1800s, they had cars, when you cranked them up, they had cars. So people are not gonna give up their cars to ride a bike. I mean, those will, those that won't, but I'm saying, that's the problem. Like she said, it is congestion, and that's not gonna go away.
Well, maybe once again, it's worth another conversation.
Well,
I'm not
yeah,
saying one way or
no, I
another to
agree.
revisit,
I do agree.
yeah.
Why I wanted to bring up with Lyle about the lanes. Is there a possibility, Lyle, taking it back to your team to put the lanes back on? First of all, let me say this. We don't know who did that on St. Nicholas Avenue because it didn't come from this board. That's number one. The Amsterdam thing didn't come from us, it came from Mark Levine. So we're wondering, can you take that back to your team and put that lane back or 2 lanes back? As well as St. Nicholas Avenue, even though we were not part of St. Nicholas Avenue. Can you look into that?
I can look into it, but I will say, just to, piggyback on the conversation, as far as what we do in regards to traffic calming, I think it was mentioned earlier, a lot of times it does just take 1 car in order to, disrupt traffic flow. When we have our projects and we take away a lane, we do analysis and we do have data collection that makes the determination that the level of traffic flow can still go with 1 less lane of traffic, provided that everyone does what they're supposed to. So if no one double parks, if cars are supposed to go as they should, then the way that the streets have been configured, even with 1 less lane of traffic, whether that's going to a bike lane or something else, they should accommodate. That's why, for one of our projects, like what we did in Amsterdam and parts of Broadway, we added left turn days. So that way that helps regulate traffic that much more. If there are cars that are trying to make a left turn, there's at least a dedicated left turn lane for those vehicles. And that way cars that want to go straight can do so without, being blocked in by those cars that are trying to make turns. So, we have to do our analysis and look holistically, when it comes to, bike lanes. I know we have a few within CB9 and, on the main corridors. When it comes to bus lanes, a lot of that is in regards to increasing bus flow because, a lot more people do take buses than drive cars. And, I'm sure the MTA hears a lot about it too, as far as how traffic flow disrupts bus service and they get complaints. So one thing disrupts everything else. And, like I said, as an agency, we have to look at things holistically. I don't know if, we'd be, uh, if we consider reinstalling any of the lanes that were there. I mean, as far as DOT is concerned as an agency, things seem to be working things would be working as they should had, so long as again cars, travel the way they do. For example, on Broadway, when we had the project there, I know that we came to present a few years ago when we took away a lane on Broadway, between 135th and 155th. And, we had, installed, commercial loading zones, we had increased signage presence, we had done improved lane markings and left turn bays. We can reconfigure those streets and on Amsterdam as well in order to accommodate the rate of traffic, the type of traffic that does flow there on a daily basis. But if you go on, Broadway now, even though we try to accommodate for curbside access, especially during the day, you do have those trucks that still park in the through lane, which does disrupt traffic flow. So, it's true, one car does, have an impact on everything else in the system. And ideally, if everyone, were to drive and, react as they're supposed to, a lot of our projects, would be more successful as far as easing traffic flow. So I think a lot of it has to do, part of it is enforcement, part of it is being a good driver, and part of it's being a good neighbor. But we don't just take away a lane of traffic, just to be mean. A lot of analysis does go into it when we do. And again, what we try to do is we are trying to also decrease speeding with one additional lane of traffic that encourages speeding on any major corridor. And that can also, end up, injuring a pedestrian, being a greater cause for accidents, that sort of thing. So traffic calming inherently is to try to, narrow traffic down so that cars can go slower so that everyone can go around safe for, pedestrians and drivers alike. So I know as a driver, it's difficult. I drive too. But we have to look at it from both the pedestrian's point of view, a biker's point of view, bus rider's point of view, that kind of thing. So, that's pretty much the same from the agency. But I'll take back the request. Also I can
I
find.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Lyle.
Yeah,
Daria has a hand.
yeah, Daria, I see your hand. Hold me 1 minute. Lyle,
Yes,
the light is still out.
it's still out on 150th.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'll.
I don't wanna sound like Ted, but the light is still out at 150. Okay.
Follow up. I'll
So I
follow
just
up.
want you to check it out, please. I really do
No problem.
appreciate it.
I'll bring this up to my colleagues in our street lighting division again, and I'll see if we can get something out there sooner rather than later as far as.
I'll tell you too.
Maybe not.
I have to go. I'm special. Okay, I appreciate it. Don't let me have to tell you next month.
Hopefully we'll get
I'll
some
send
resolution
I'll
before
send you another email, okay?
No
Daria
problem.
has a question. Daria?
I have so many. I started out having a question about one thing, and now we're all the way on another subject. But I do. My initial question is about the parking, which I'll get back to. But while we're talking about the lanes, I just have to add, I would be remiss if I did not sing the same song that I have sung at every meeting when this has come up. When this initially happened on Broadway, part of the agreement was that they would look at it again in 2 years with the board to see if it was working.
Yeah, that was 15.
It sounds, you know, based on the response is like that's off the table because it did not happen. Furthermore, in terms of all of the streets where the lanes have been removed, if we're talking about it being a viable plan, if everybody does what they're supposed to do, we're not talking about New York City then, and especially not Harlem, because Harlem is going to double park. And New York City is going to do what New York City does, very respectfully, but everyone in here knows that that is the case. And so if one car can throw everything off, then we're constantly going to have that because there's constantly going to be somebody doing that. We all know that is just, and having a holistic view of it, you know, I hope would include being realistic about that. Also, you know, I really wanted to bring that up, especially about the part going back. We keep having these trial situations that just, you know, we pass them and okay it under the pretense of things being trial, and that we will look, we're just going to try this and we'll look back, you know, we'll come back and get with the community and see if it's working, but it doesn't come back. And now we're having a whole conversation about how things aren't working. If nothing else, like the gentleman said, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, that brought up about the bus stops. At the very least, you know, there's all this on Broadway, there's a big old space that they already use for a bike lane.
Yeah,
Why
that's
can't
right.
that be
Exactly.
why
You're
can't
right.
that
You're correct. It
be?
is not a bike lane.
Right. Why can't it be a bike
But they
lane?
use
Why
it.
can't it be
Right.
a bus lane? Why can't it be something instead of nothing? On St. Nicholas, same thing. There's a big old space. I mean, we clearly need that considering the issues we're having at 145th and St. Nicholas. However, you know, even if it were a bus lane, that would be better than it being nothing.
Right.
Because right now we are talking about it's a lot of people trying to use a little bit of space, and we are just wasting. So I just had to say that, and I won't. You know, we've talked ad nauseum about it, so I won't go on. But I needed to say that. My question, though, for you, Lyle, and hello, Lyle, by the way, um, was about the parking. And I'm really interested in how that whole parking permit sort of thing happens. Do you have any insight on how it actually happens? Because we've been talking about it. I know that this has been going on in Queens at least for years, for 20 years or so. They've had parking permits. So there is a mechanism for it to happen, and nobody seems to know how it happens anymore. I know that it can because it's already happened, as somebody else mentioned in the meeting.
Are you talking about residential parking?
Yes, like permit parking, residential parking. Is there, I would just like to know how it actually comes about, like what we have to do to sort of get the actual ball rolling. We had a reso, but other than that, in terms of with DOT, how does it work to get that started?
Stop.
Well,
It's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot, Dario. That's a whole long conversation.
Well, I'll just say this as far as residential parking permits, at least for Queens. If there are any parking permits, at least for Queens, as far as I know, I live in Queens, but the streets that are in Queens that where there are permits are privatized. Those are
Right.
You gotta buy some private neighborhood.
Yeah, this would be within maintain that.
I've,
Yeah,
I've definitely seen them on just regular streets because I was surprised. It was years ago. I've been in New York 20 plus years, and it was when I first moved to New York. Are
yeah.
are you saying I'm
You got a
not
bunch of
sure,
terrace too.
but are you saying that's definitely the case or that you think that?
Well, as far as New York City, we don't have. There's nothing on for the city that's.
It's not Wilson Park, that I can't tell you.
Yeah,
It's not Wilson Park, I'll tell you that.
I'm sorry, I can't hear loud.
We need to be canceled.
Yeah, I didn't hear him either. Live.
Any
Oh,
conversation?
that's what I was thinking. No, I was saying that New York City doesn't issue residential parking permits anywhere. Like I said, the streets where if there are parking permits, those would be private streets. So those would be streets that the city would maintain. Those would be streets where the residents on that particular block, there would be like say a housing association, that sort of things. Those are more for, I guess, high residential areas. But as far as I know, the city as a whole doesn't issue residential parking permits at all anywhere in the city. Those are probably the private streets that you'd be referring to.
Interesting. I do want to say this because it wasn't mentioned with how this conversation started. We are already overrun by Jersey and whomever else that comes into. It's not going to start at 59th and then work its way up. It's already been up here for years and years. With, with people in the neighborhood not being able to find parking because other people from outside are parking here and then taking the train downtown because it's very convenient to do that. But it's just going to get worse. So whatever, like if it's a new thing about getting residential parking, please, please let us know how we can get that ball rolling.
Yeah, trust me, we've definitely gotten a lot of questions over at DOT ever since the ball has been moving on congestion pricing. We've gotten the residential parking permit question a lot, which I think is one of the reasons why, again, once the program is underway, we're going to do a reassessment of, the parking behaviors uptown in order to see ideally what we can glean after the program is in effect. So that trust me, we're going to collect a lot of data and do a lot of research. And if there are things that we can do to try to alleviate parking up there, we'll do what we can. Believe me, I've been with DOT for a while, and trust me, I understand how valuable parking is uptown and citywide. Every one of our projects that we have, we always, get questions as far as parking loss, the risk of parking loss. We try our best to mitigate that as best we can because, trust me, we know. But absolutely, any information that comes in once the program is in effect when it comes to parking or, as that process is moving on, as I get updates, I'll pass them along to you guys.
Thank you. I want to ask specifically, do you recall that the project on Broadway had said that it would come back and we'd look at it in 2 years?
I can look. I was here for that project. I can take a look at the resolution again.
Yeah, he would have to look that up, Darian.
Yeah,
Because even I had it, but I don't know where it is. I wrote it.
Yeah, I mean, we can, we can, DOT is always looking to, reassess and look over, specific locations. So if there's certain intersections that we might have to take a second look at, as you said, things change, neighborhood changes, dynamics change. So, we're always willing to go back and, reassess and take another look if we need to. So if there's certain pockets along Broadway that you think that DOT, needs to kind of re-review, I can definitely take that back to my colleagues and see if we can get a response for you.
Yeah, it's all 3 avenues, but I just remember specifically that particular reso had said that the 2-year thing. So thank you very much, Lyle. Thanks for your work.
No problem.
And you have anything else, Lyle? Lyle?
Just one. Just one quick thing for me. I just wanted to mention that DOT's milling and resurfacing schedule is still continuing. you may have seen some of our crews up in North Manhattan. At this point, we're pretty much in CB12 now, and we should be in CB9 tonight. In we should be on Amsterdam between 110th and 114th, on parts of Claremont Avenue and Tiemann Place, and we should be going around North Manhattan as well next week. We have a list of locations where we'll be next week that I will send over to CB9 and the other North Manhattan community boards, ideally by the end of tomorrow, so that everyone can at least plan accordingly and know where we'll be next week, for mainland resurfacing.
I have one question for you, Val, and I'll let you go. We received the petition for a new revocable consent on 12th Street, Riverside. You know anything about that?
Youth reached out to me about that yesterday, and she'd spoken to a colleague of mine. I haven't had a chance to review, but I think that there's a request that Columbia had in regards to doing something around there. We needed to basically get we just wanted to review by the community board just to make sure that you guys were on board before we move forward.
Okay.
I know that you had spoken to a colleague of mine. I followed up with her today. She spoke with a colleague of mine, so it sounded like she got some answers. But I told her if she needed anything else from us, she could reach out to me or my colleague who was helping her out earlier today.
And what are these polls?
Like I said, I didn't get a chance to read the request specifically, but I'll go through it, and if anything, you and I can have a conversation about it. Either tomorrow or next week. That works.
Okay, you can let me know. Yeah, I was wondering if something came up like that a couple of years ago when Barry was chair. Obviously, this is not the same thing. It's something different. So don't worry about it, Lau.
Okay,
Don't worry about it.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a personal question of information is, I always dreamt to see a roundabout on Riverside and 137. Would the DOT, how would the process to get that idea on the table?
What roundabout?
No, I would like to see the light to be replaced with a roundabout on 137 and Riverside.
The light?
Yes, or to get a roundabout that where people turn around instead of going straight, which slow people down and also speed people up because there wouldn't be any light.
On 37.
On 137, Riverside, the viaduct, when 137, that scene, to turn that scene into a roundabout in term of expediting people and also, anyway, how would the idea of the concept would be? Introduce. Would it be here or?
It would have to go through DOT.
Yeah, you can.
So would he contact Lau or us so we get it to Lau?
We would have to have a discussion on it again, not tonight.
No, not tonight, but
And bring it up with Lau next time, whether it could be next month, because after next month, I'll see you in September.
Oh, I have.
So, just tell me.
Yeah.
So we can bring it up, next month, Lyle.
All right.
But I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
I have a question too.
The corner
Yeah.
light on the 133. What's that, the northeast corner, southeast corner?
What's the 133 whatever?
One right across the street, 133.
On this.
Southeast. Going north.
We're on the southwest
So
side.
that's the west.
On Broadway?
The northwest.
On Broadway, yeah.
Okay.
So 133,
Across from you would be northeast, yeah.
The corner of northeast of 133, across from the board.
Yeah.
Can you put a street light there, because it is very dark at night on that corner? Because when I leave here, or I guess me and others, when I leave the board at 8, a little after 8, sometimes it's 9, that corner is dark. I literally have to walk to 135 to get to 4 or 5. So I'm asking, can a light be put on that corner?
Okay, so northeast corner of Broadway, 133rd.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I can create a case on your behalf and have the street lighting division do the necessary review and get back to you. And the same thing about the roundabout as well. You can reach out to DOT on our website, and we have an area or a section called Contact DOT. If you want to send a comment either to the Manhattan Borough Commissioner or to the DOT commissioner, you can go onto the DOT website, should be nyc.gov/DOT. And you can make a request, for anything you'd like from us, for us to review, whether it's streetlights, roundabouts, bike lanes, any sort of thing. And it'll go to the appropriate division within DOT for their review, and we will respond to you.
I'll do that. Thank you.
I just want to know, what is the purpose of the roundabout? That's where I'm lost.
It's safer. It doesn't, it remove the light, so you don't have the light so people can go by. It has a bigger throughput of car going by, and pedestrian can actually get in.
Okay.
Because everything is in a yield mode instead of regulated by the light.
Okay, I didn't get it before, now I got it.
Yeah. And there is enough space to.
I know there's a light before they.
Yeah, no, right now it's a straight light, but the idea was to introduce that. Since everybody wants to do Vision Zero and.
Yeah,
Well, they know everybody wants to.
I actually want to like that to be added somewhere too. But I'll
vote
send it in.
Vision Zero, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Okay, you had a question?
No, it's fine. I mean, I have a question about a light being added somewhere too in a much bigger area, but I can follow with you, Carolyn, maybe
Okay,
get
not a
that
problem.
done. Yeah.
Not a problem. Thank you, Lyle.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Thank
Lyle.
you.
Well, you can reach out to me anytime.
Absolutely. I will.
Okay. No problem. All right, Laquita and Edwin, back to the Reso, which you all rushed into. But I must say this here, you and Edwin need to stay out of my committee, because we don't jump into yours. This is the third time that you've done it.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just letting you know, we don't appreciate it, and we don't like it. Having a good idea is one thing, but forwarding on your own without letting us know about it is not right.
Carolyn, let me
Okay.
let me say that we got an email from a member of our committee who's also a resident of the community. And in this instance, we felt it was an emergency response. We weren't thinking of it as being from, belonging to any particular committee, but concerns as members of the community. So that it wasn't designed to step on you or your committee, but as members of the community board. And there may be some misunderstanding of what you thought was just on your committee, but we have responded and done resolutions based on public safety, which is health, as well as we've mentioned in our resolutions that they do concern health. So there may be an overlap, there is an overlap, but we also have, and sometimes not me, but Edwin has come to your committee. So we're not thinking of this as being something divisive, but actually supportive because it does concern our committee, as well as it concerns the community board. So when we reach out, just respond. Yesterday was the first draft of the resolution,
Carolyn, we cannot
and
speak
it was
over each
sent to
other.
you. Yesterday was the first draft of the resolution, and it was sent to you yesterday. And you're the first committee, and you are the first committee that meets this month, May 2nd. So it is coming to you. The other times, those resolutions concerned our committee. And when it comes to our committee, we are expecting to respond looking at the entire community, not this is mine, that's yours. And yeah, cooperation is key, but it should not be something that you don't want to do it because, we did it first. We weren't even thinking about, okay, who's going to do it first, but it impact. Well, that's an escalated response. It's an escalated response. So, and it's, I think should be looked at differently. I hadn't thought of this is me and mine and that kind of thing. And we've done the same as it concerns maybe overlapping other committees as well, and it's worked out. So, we're work at it, but in this instance, I think we followed what would be the guideline. The resolution was drafted yesterday. We talked to a lot of people in the community. There was concern, and two of the people happen to be part of our committee, and they're in public. They're members of, I guess, the public, you would say. So why shouldn't we try to satisfy them? Because it concerns all of us, and some of us are more directly impacted. But yours happened to be the first committee meeting. You got this along with all the co-chairs with the executive, and we're here. And I telephoned you as well as sent the reso to you as addressed. No, I didn't. Well, I contacted. I contacted
All right, everyone,
you.
during the meeting.
Yeah, everyone.
Kick everybody out and you have to do that.
All right, so that's what
I will adjourn.
I can't. It's
I
hard to
have- I
hear.
have
It's
to-
hard to hear.
May I respond since my name was addressed?
You could say.
I will adjourn the meeting, all right? You did not address it for the simple fact that you sent me the email yesterday, but Victor had warned you and Edwin before.
All right, wait,
about going over
Carolyn,
it, okay?
Carolyn.
That's
Let's
all I'm
not-
saying.
So, okay, why don't you let women speak, and then if we need to carry this out further offline, we should do that.
Yeah.
Because we all should be working together for our collective good.
Exactly.
That's
That's what-
That's the bottom line.
No, I agree, I agree.
So,
And
Okay.